Everybody. It is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, and we've got news. Okay. Fun stuff, ridiculous stuff, as usual on today's show. We are going to talk about, of course, the Trump tariffs. There's going to be a lot of that, including a CNBC reporter, an economics reporter calling it for what it is. I love it. Then we have Europe, of course, retaliating in this trade war, Trump's trade war. We have Trump's Tesla stunt. What happened? What's going on there? Apparently, it was like a Tesla ad. So it's just amazing stuff in that story. Okay. We have ICE in turmoil, and then we have Usaid staffers that were ordered to destroy documentation. So, documentation about what? I don't know. Could be classified documentation. So, there's a lot of stuff that happened today. And yesterday as well. So, we're going to get into that stuff. Before we do, please like and share the stream. Very important that you do so. Helps us out. Those of you watching later on Patreon. It's where I post all the audio podcast version of the show, where you can access it at any time, ad-free. Did I mention ad-free? That's what you get for signing up to become a patron. If not, of course, then there will be ads on the pre-recorded or the recorded live stream. So if you're watching that and you're sick of the ads, go sign up to be a patron. You'll help out the channel, help out independent progressive media, and you get to avoid ads. So it's a win-win. It really is. It is a win-win. Now, that said, please like and share. Okay. Independent progressive media needs your help badly. I need your help badly. So please sign up, or you could become a channel member on YouTube as well. With that said, why don't we go into this first story here, which is fun. The emperor has no clothes. And finally, someone on CNBC is calling it out. An economics reporter at CNBC blasted Donald Trump's tariffs on the air as insane.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane. It is absolutely insane. It is about the 8th reason we've had for the tariffs, and now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane. There is just no other way of describing it. And the trouble, Kelly, is that it shows there are no bounds around President Trump. This is very different from the first administration, where there were people around him who seemed to, I don't know what the word is, but smooth over some of the edges now. And the other thing that's not talked about, Kelly, is what's going on within the administration in terms of how they're treating the Constitution and laws. I think all of that is bad for the attraction of capital. And the gentleman from Bridgewater is 100% right. We need massive amounts of capital if we want to fund our deficits, pay for the things we want to pay for, sell our bonds, and have high stock prices. And it seems as if this administration is doing everything it can to chase foreign capital away.
Well, and we could go into the strategy of the insanity as a strategy in terms of our trading
Insanity
partners.
is not a strategy. I'm sorry.
I did not speed up any parts of that video, by the way. That guy apparently just naturally talks like he's had a lot of speed or coffee or both. So I was, just watching that, I was like, that is unusually fast. And then you realize, oh, it's the, stock market economics guys. They're always hopped up on something. I mean, come on. But nonetheless, he is correct. Insanity is not a strategy. All right. And the person I'm referring to is senior economics reporter Steve Leisman. Okay. And he is pointing out things that should be very, very obvious. And yet Kelly, whoever that Kelly person is, right? Yeah, she's all like, well, let's look at the insanity, we'll just look at the strategy, right? There is no strategy. There is no strategy. But it's what we get. It's what we get with Donald Trump. Okay? Insane. Trump's tariffs make no sense in this context, in any context. The way that he is doing this, it is dumb. It is ham-fisted. And yes, I dare say, insane, crazy, nuts. But again, that's what we're getting here. And I mean, think about it, right? Some of the demands that are being made by the Trump administration, one of them is Canada giving up its literal sovereignty and becoming the 51st state.
The best way, the president has said it, the best way to actually merge the economies of Canada and the United States is for Canada to become our 51st state. If they want to merge it, that's how you make it the 51st state. Canada's going to have to work with us to really integrate their economy. And as the president said, they should consider the amazing advantages of being the 51st state of the United States of America.
That is a Trump official talking about, the amazing advantages of becoming America's 51st state. Yes, yes. What amazing advantages are there? How about dying from lack of guaranteed health care? How about the weekly school shootings? All while neckbeards and red hats scream about how freedom, right? How you're freedom, freedom, while taking it away if you're a woman or you're a minority. That's the advantages that they would get as an American. Wow, great. I'm sure all of Canada is clamoring for this. Okay. But seriously, though, the tariffs aren't just freaking people out on cable news. Okay. Let's look at the stock market. It's been going crazy. Okay. His own advisors are also flipping out. According to a Wall Street Journal report, some staff on the National Economic Council have been startled by Trump's insistence on remaking U.S. trade policy into a game of will he or won't he tariff threats. Okay, so this is kind of like picking the parts off the flower and being like, he loves me not, he loves me not. You're gonna put tariffs. No tariffs now. We're gonna do the tariffs. Nope. Looks like we're not gonna do the tariffs. Like, what are you doing? What is this? What kind of strategy is this? It's not a strategy. It's not a strategy. We're at the whims of a man baby. That's what's going on. Citing people familiar with the matter, the Journal said that Trump's economic advisors have warned him that tariffs could stymie economic growth and tank the market, but the president has remained unyielding in his desire for these trade wars. Oh boy. The Journal has also reported that senior Trump officials, including White House Chief of Staff Susan Wiles, have gotten concerned phone calls from corporate CEOs and industry lobbyists who have asked the administration to lay out a clear tariff agenda that they can plan for, because, companies like, they like things to be stable, all right? They like stability. This is not stable. This is very unstable, okay? This is not a very stable genius move, okay? That's what's going on. Not a very stable genius move at all. And as, again, to get back to what the Journal was reporting, this is opposed to Trump's sudden and shifting approach that has seen him announce several economic measures without warning in angrily written social media posts. Yeah, that's what's going on. Truth essential. That's how you find out about, like, this is the next policy that we're going to do in America, is you got to check his freaking social media feed, which is just insanity. Okay? Even some tech CEOs told Trump and his top advisors at a meeting in the White House on Monday that they were worried that tariffs would be hurting their industries. Here's the thing, though. You supported insane, and guess what? You've got insane. You lobbied for insane. You funded insane. Okay? Now you're complaining that you've got insanity? It's not like we didn't tell you that this would happen. We told you what was going to happen. We told you that, hey, Donald Trump's going to get rid of all the adults in the room. Okay? That's it. He's going to replace them with yes men and loyalists, all right, and people who don't know what they're doing. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, Leisman also pointed out that he has no adult supervision in the room, which is why this is worse than last time. Much, much worse than it was last time. There is no strategy. There is no three-dimensional chess being played here. Donald Trump has dementia and is destroying our economy one unhinged rage fit at a time. And you know who's partly to blame, by the way? The media. Media like CNBC, for example, for sane-washing a man who is definitely a few eggs short of a dozen. Okay. There's more. There's more stupid. There's always more stupid. Get the right video here. The European Union has hit back on Donald Trump's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. On Wednesday, the world's biggest trading bloc announced retaliatory tariffs on U.S. industrial and farm products. The EU measures will cover goods from the U.S. worth some 26 billion euros, or about $28 billion, and not just on steel and aluminum products, but also textiles, home appliances, and agricultural goods. You also have motorcycles, bourbon, peanut butter, jeans. All of that's going to be hit, as they were during Trump's first term. They're specifically, though, targeting red states the most. For example, soybeans in House Speaker Mike Johnson's Louisiana, along with beef and poultry in Kansas and Nebraska. Produce in Alabama, Georgia, and Virginia is also on the list. Now, the EU action will involve about two steps. On April 1st, for example, the Commission will reintroduce what it calls rebalancing measures, which the EU had from 2018 to 2020 and suspended under the Biden administration. And then on April 13th, come additional duties targeting $18 billion, or about $19.6 billion in U.S. exports to the bloc. European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen said in a statement that the bloc will always remain open to negotiation. As the U.S. are applying tariffs worth $28 billion, we are responding with countermeasures worth 26 billion euros. We firmly believe that in a world fraught with geopolitical and economic uncertainties, it is not in our common interest to burden our economies with tariffs. Jobs are at stake, prices will go up in Europe and in the United States. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and even worse for consumers. These tariffs are disrupting supply chains. They bring uncertainty for the economy. Now, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce also weighed in, saying this is not good. This is very bad. Both the U.S. tariffs and the counter tariffs, quote, will only harm jobs, prosperity, and security on both sides of the Atlantic. The two sides must de-escalate and find a negotiated outcome urgently. Now, is that likely to happen? No. No, I do not. I do not believe so. Okay, but again, in this administration, you don't know. He's backtracked on a bunch of different things. Backtracked on the tariffs a little bit, and then threatened more tariffs, and then scale back on that, and then we have a delay here and a delay over there. So really, you don't know. Not a great way to run a country. Okay, the biggest economy in the world. Okay, that said, the official talking point from the White House coming out right now is that the tariffs, they're actually not a tax, but a tax cut.
When President Trump last addressed the BRT when he was on the campaign trail, his big push was on tax cuts. He's going there today as he's proposing tax hikes in the form of tariffs. And I'm curious for why he's prioritizing that over the tax cuts.
He's actually not implementing tax hikes. Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people, and the president is a staunch advocate of tax cuts. As you know, he campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have.
That's
they
it.
don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
That is a reporter literally schooling Carolyn Levitt. Okay. Hey, have you actually paid a tariff? Because I have. I have. It's not the country that pays the tariff. It is the importer. Okay. That's what happens. This lady is out there gaslighting people because our dumbass president thinks that the governments of the other countries pay the tariffs. They do not. They do not. But here's the problem. You got all these sheep out there, and that's what they are. They're repeating everything that Carolyn Levitt is saying. That is a tax cut on the American people. Oh, really? Is it? Explain how paying more for imports, paying more for goods, is a tax cut. Explain that. Her answer, of course, is, it is not. We will make America great again. These people are the NPCs. Okay, there's no original thought in their heads. It's just an echo of what Donald Trump wants. And Donald Trump doesn't even know what he wants. He's out there just doing rage fits against these other countries. He's not there.
I'm cognitively there.
No, he's not cognitively there. Okay, this man has got serious issues and does not know what he's doing and is steering us into economic devastation. That's it. That's what's going on. Now, it's not just the EU, by the way, that's hitting us back with retaliatory tariffs. No, you have Canada as well. They're set to impose tariffs on goods totaling $21 billion, which will include motorcycles, beef, whiskey, alongside American-made steel and aluminum. And of course, a lot of this is just targeted towards states that voted for Donald Trump. So this is going to affect everyone, obviously, but it is going to hit those states much, much harder. Okay, already pro-Trump farmers are feeling it, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't good. You better give us some of that welfare that we actually hate, but we hate it when it goes to other people, but not to us. We love it when it goes to us. Okay, I see how that works. Look, to those people, I say, hey, you know what? Deal with it. You get what you voted for. You wanted insanity. Now you got it. All right. Let's move on to the next story here. Was it just me, or did the Dow tracker drop a little faster when she said the tariffs were a tax cut? Shit. I don't know, but it's been going down quite a bit. Disaster. Sad. All right. On Tuesday, President Donald Trump did a literal commercial in front of the White House in order to help out his first buddy, Elon Musk.
That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow.
There's no gears.
This is really amazing. I looked at that dashboard. You can do anything.
Mr. President, you buying a Tesla will boost Tesla sales and boost
Well, I
their
hope
stock?
it does. Look.
Was that your goal
I
by
care
doing
about
this?
one thing. When somebody's a great patriot, they shouldn't be hurt. He's a great patriot. He didn't know me from Adam until we met a little bit when I was in my first term, but he came out, he endorsed me very strongly. They're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL, I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies. I did a very big favor for the NFL. I do favors for all of them. When you heard an American company, especially a company like this, supplies so many jobs that others are unable to do, when you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them.
Oh, they're going to go through a big problem. A big problem. Okay. So, that again, that was in front of the White House with a whole bunch of Tesla vehicles. Apparently, he bought one. Okay. And this whole thing was absolutely bizarre. But what makes it even weirder is that apparently Donald Trump was given literal notes to follow. He even admitted it. He said, as he fumbled papers while he prepared to get into one of those cars, quote, "They gave me notes. Here are the notes." Okay, well, there it is. Oh, look at that. Tesla pricing. Ooh, oh, we got all this. We got prices. We got talking points. Literal script given to him by Elon Musk. Some of them say the safest car. It's the state of the art. It's affordable. This is an unpaid ad. Okay, why is this happening? Why is he a car salesman? You know why? It's because the company's stock is plunging. Okay, it's down 15% on Monday. That's the steepest drop in 5 years. Elon Musk is losing billions of dollars of his own personal wealth as a result of his political activities. Okay, his money is tied up with Tesla stock. So when that goes down, so does his overall wealth. That's why the Tesla boycotts have actually been so effective, which, by the way, are completely and totally legal. There's nobody out there that should force you to buy a Tesla. So when he says, "Oh, it's a illegal boycott," that's not a thing. That's not a real thing. Okay, but look, the people, and this is the big problem here for Elon Musk. The people who normally would buy a Tesla, they're saying, no, we do not like Elon Musk's politics. Okay, we don't like that he funded Donald Trump, gave him $277 million during the election, okay, and essentially bought his way into the government. We don't like the Department of Governmental Efficiency that has been killing a lot of our jobs. We don't like any of that stuff. So no, we're not going to buy Teslas. And by the way, these Cybertrucks keep like literally falling apart or catching on fire. Yes. Now, that's another good reason. Okay, another good reason. Now, what he also failed to realize, okay, is that the wealthy liberals, okay, they're the ones who want to drive electric cars in order to try to help the environment. That was his main customer base. Republicans are not going to rush in to fill the void. All right, even Sean Hannity, you know, he's not going to be able to convince his Republican viewers, "Hey, you should all go buy electric cars now." They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. A lot of Republicans hate electric cars. You know why? For years, Fox News, the right wing, have demonized electric cars in order to continue to push for more fossil fuels. That's right. And Trump himself has pushed for more fossil fuel and has ripped out electric car charging stations. In fact, the U.S. General Services Administration, which orders many of the vehicles and owns EV chargers used by other federal agencies, has temporarily suspended orders of zero-emission vehicles, stopped the installation of new EV charging stations, and ordered some existing stations to be shut down, according to internal memos obtained by NPR and Colorado Public Radio. All existing charging stations that are deemed not to be mission critical. Gee, I wonder if any of the Tesla charging stations are going to be considered mission critical now. But they should be disconnected from the network and turned off, reads a March 3rd memo on EV chargers signed by Michael Peters, the new commissioner of the GSA's Public Building Service, appointed by President Trump. So, wait a minute. If you're taking down the chargers, then where are these Republican customers going to charge their new Teslas? Where's Donald Trump going to charge his new Tesla? They're not going to be able to. That's irony. I mean, Donald Trump hated electric cars until about like 2 days ago. Literally. All right. On his first day in office, Trump signed an executive order revoking a goal set by former President Joe Biden for battery-powered vehicles to make up at least 50% of all new vehicles sold in the U.S. by 2030. Importantly, he said, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate. It wasn't a mandate. It's not forcing you to buy a car. Okay? It's incentivizing it. Electric vehicles. Saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. You know, a lot of local, domestic, I should say, automakers are doing electric cars because they want to, not because they're being forced by the government to do that. So the whole thing calling, mandate. It's not a mandate. It's not a mandate, you baby. But anyway, Trump has also paused billions of dollars in federal spending to build more public EV charging stations. So no place to charge it. And is seeking to unwind other policies that promote EVs, including California's ban on the sale of new gas-powered cars by 2035. Federal tax credits still are in place to incentivize customers to buy EVs. However, you have some Republicans now that have proposed killing those and imposing a new $1,000 EV tax instead. Yeah. They're going to tax new EVs, these Republicans. And you expect people to go out and buy more of the Teslas? Or are they going to have a special carve out? Wouldn't surprise me if Trump suddenly is like, oh, we need to carve something out just for Tesla. Wait, whatever happened to not picking winners and losers in the free market? Never believed in that. They never believed in it at all. Look, it's almost as if everyone here is both really stupid and corrupt. I mean, especially stupid, though. Okay? Elon Musk has done so much damage to himself and his brand. And it's really hard to see where Musk goes after this whole, special government employee thing ends. Okay? He's supposed to be running these businesses. He's not. He's spending all of his time at like the White House or at Mar-a-Lago. Okay? So he's not actually running his own businesses right now. So after he's done palling around with Trump in the White House, where does Elon Musk go? He's destroyed all of the goodwill. Okay, I think he's going to need those government contracts more than ever now. But once Trump's out of the White House, I mean, do you really think that the next, if there's a Democratic administration, much less a Republican administration, that are going to continue these contracts, that are going to extend them? I don't know. And certainly you do not see Tesla gaining back what it's lost in its customer base here and around the world. So I don't know. It's not good. Donald Trump has basically, he kills everything that he touches. So Elon Musk may have just long-term fucked himself by allying with Donald Trump. And I don't think any stupid White House commercial is going to end up saving him in the long run. But you know what? Good. I hope he doesn't get saved. All right. kind of like you done effed up on this one. Okay, fuck around and find out. It just sometimes it takes a lot of time for the leopards to show up at your door. All right, moving on. It appears that Donald Trump's immigration agency is experiencing some inner turmoil as the amount of deportations conducted by ICE continues to not be what Trump and MAGA were hoping for. According to ICE data obtained by NBC News, immigration and customs enforcement agents deported fewer immigrants in February than they did under the Biden administration during the same month a year ago.
Whoopsie.
According to the data, ICE deported around 11,000 migrants last month, the first full month Trump was in office, compared to just over 12,000 in February of 2024. All right. Now, one of the big reasons for that, of course, is there's just less people coming over the border, less border crossings, both legal and illegal. Okay. Now, Donald Trump claimed that, you know what we're going to do? We're going to deport the worst, right? We're going to get rid of the worst. We're going to get rid of the criminals. We're going to get rid of all those people. That's not true, because of the people deported in February, roughly half of them did not have criminal convictions or pending criminal charges. So they weren't actually the worst of the worst. They weren't criminals at all. These are people that, yes, didn't have documentation, which is a civil, a civil issue, not a criminal issue. So now the number of immigrants without criminal records arrested by ICE and deported increased only slightly from the end of the Biden administration, from 223 in December to 390 in February. So they're getting rid of the quote-unquote good ones, okay? The ones without any criminal convictions, or the non-criminals, of course. So what's interesting here about the data is, while deportations are down, detentions have increased. Oh, okay. So now ICE arrested more than 20,000 immigrants during Trump's first month in office. That's a 111% increase compared to the average monthly number of arrests during the last fiscal year. So Biden deported more, Trump deported less, but has put more people in prison. ICE under Trump is holding about 10% more detainees than it was at the end of the Biden administration, according to the agency's public data. At the end of February, ICE is holding almost 44,000 migrants in detention. So many, of course, that they are starting to run out of room. And ironically, and you're going to love this, since they don't have enough room, they are releasing the migrants back into the U.S. on a monitoring program because there's just not enough room. Oops. Now, here's the thing. The real kicker, right? Remember, one of the reasons, we got to get rid of the immigrants because they're costing us so much. Wait, no, all of this costs more money. And so now they're begging Congress, please send us more money. We need more money to do more deportations, and we need more money for more prison space. We need to go and pay these private prisons more and more money to house non-violent, non-criminal migrants. The whole thing is an entire, it's a boondoggle, okay? It's such a waste of money, okay? Now, all of this, of course, has led to problems within this agency when it comes to staff and morale. In fact, NBC's Julia Ainsley reported that a key ally of Trump advisor Stephen Miller ended up being ousted as a result.
I think this explains a lot of that inner turmoil where we saw the acting head of ICE get reassigned to another part of ICE. They replaced him very quickly. That's someone who had a relationship with Stephen Miller and was handpicked for that job, and now they're replacing him. We know that Border Czar Tom Homan is very frequently on calls with ICE, telling them they need to ramp up their deportation numbers. They tried giving them quotas that they weren't able to meet. Of course, they've assigned many people from DOJ components like the ATF and DEA to go out and help make these arrests. None of that has actually brought the deportation numbers as high as they want them to. I will say, Allie, one key thing that they could do or that they want to do that could increase is more money. If they get more money from Congress, which could be a long time coming, they can increase detention space, and then they could arrest and deport more people. Of course, they tried that in Guantanamo Bay, and now, as we've reported here, of course, they're rethinking that policy because that turned out to be so expensive and not logistically possible either. But this explains, I think, these deportation numbers explain why we've seen so much hand-wringing, the anger, the firings. It's because of these numbers, and that's one of the reasons why they haven't been as public with these as they have been with the arrest numbers, which are up.
And there it is. Look, all of this should show you that the claims that they made about immigrants during this election were completely untrue. It was all bullshit. Okay? The claim, oh, we got millions of people coming over the border. They're pouring over the border as if we're in like World War Z or something. Okay? No, that didn't happen. We're not having a migrant invasion. We never were. Biden deported more people than Donald Trump in his term. And guess what? Obama also deported more people during his presidency than Trump had. Even by the way, with the scaling back of rights of immigrants, of asylum seekers, and the increase in ICE, presence and enforcement, they still are not able to deport enough people because it turns out that illegal immigration wasn't exactly that big of a problem. Not as big as what Donald Trump had claimed during the election and the right wing, okay? Look, I'm not saying that there wasn't border crossings. There were quite a few during the Biden administration, and a lot of that happened to be asylum seekers. And you know what? President Biden cracked down on that. I disagreed with that. But it is the reality. Okay, yes, he made it harder for asylum seekers to come into the country. Asylum seekers escaping from, war and poverty and things like that, and natural disasters, Biden cracked down on that. And so that's the reality. And that said, now with Donald Trump in charge, people are just not coming over. It's not worth the effort anymore, right? They're not going to be able to deliver, Trump is, on the promises because their promises were never based in reality. Their promises were only based on lies and conspiracy theories. And that's why they're hiding their numbers. Okay. One more story here. Get the paper shredder going on here. The remaining workers at Usaid have been ordered to destroy classified documents as the agency winds down operations. According to the Associated Press, Trump administration has been dismantling Usaid, cutting off most federal funding and terminating about 83% of humanitarian and development programs abroad, pulling all but a few hundred staffers off the job and shutting down the agency's Washington headquarters. Now, part of that shutdown, the way they're doing it, is getting them in a little bit of trouble. In fact, a union representing Usaid contractors has asked a federal judge to stop the destruction of classified documents after an email ordered staffers to help burn and shred agency records. An email was sent under the name of Erica Carr, the acting executive secretary of USAID, saying, quote, "Thank you for your assistance in clearing our classified safes and personnel documents." It directed staffers to shred as many documents first, then stuff the remaining classified material into designated burn bags if the demand on the shredder becomes too great. Staffers were then told to write secret on the bags with a marker, like maybe a Sharpie or something. What? Wait, why are you burning the records? Why are you shredding the records? What's going on here? What are these records? And aren't you supposed to have record keeping? Now, the collection, retention, and disposal of classified material and federal records are regulated by law. But of course, apparently that doesn't apply, at least to the president of the United States. Just remember, he had that whole classified documents that he took from the White House and brought them to Mar-a-Lago and then illegally held them until the FBI went and took them. Okay, they took them back because he refused to return them. He nearly went to, court for that. But thanks to the delay tactics and the election, he got off scot-free. And the, of course, handpicked judge in that case. Okay, he put this federal judge on the bench, and then she let him go. And so, yeah, apparently they don't give a damn about classified material. They don't give a damn at all. So, yes, technically improper handling and disposal of federal records can be charged as a crime, but as Donald Trump proved, he's immune. He's not going to get charged with a crime. So no one in the administration is likely to be touched for this. And by the way, speaking of the classified documents that he stole from the White House, guess what? He stole them back. That's right. He went and moved those very same classified documents that the FBI had seized. He took them back to Mar-a-Lago. So there you are. Now, Representative Gregory Meeks, the ranking Democrat in the House Foreign Affairs Committee, did put out a statement about this, saying, quote, "Haphazardly shredding and burning USAID documents and personnel files seems like a great way to get rid of evidence of wrongdoing when you're illegally dismantling an agency." Look, they've been ordered by a federal judge, Judge Carl Nichols, to, stop doing that, okay? Stop destroying documents. And there was a Wednesday morning deadline of like, hey, you need to brief us on the issue. Brief us and the plaintiffs, okay? I should say the plaintiffs and the government need to brief him on what's going on. Now, this is all related, by the way, to the lawsuits concerning the abrupt shutdown of foreign aid and the agency itself. In the latest court challenge, Personal Services Contractor Association, representing thousands of contractors now furloughed or fired from USAID, asked a judge to stop any document destruction in order to preserve evidence. And a group representing USAID workers, the American Foreign Service Association, said in a statement that it feared the documents being destroyed could be relevant to these ongoing lawsuits over USAID's firings and program terminations. So we don't know what the documents actually are. Now, that said, USAID didn't just do foreign aid. They have been a soft power center for the United States that uses things like humanitarian aid to pressure governments into supporting U.S. interests in the region, especially corporate interests. Okay, USAID poured hundreds of millions of dollars into Haiti, for example, for NGO initiatives and state-led democratic programs, financed micro-development projects in rural Paraguay to dissuade peasants from supporting insurgent groups, and countered the rapidly growing socialist movement in Bolivia through a multi-million-dollar democracy building campaign. At the end of the day, these USAID projects and NGO supports neoliberal policy, and that neoliberal policy, of course, benefits big corporations and the U.S. government. That's not to say that they haven't actually done some good things. Of course they have. They have fed children, right? They have fought against disease, but some of their good works did have some strings attached. Okay, and those strings, again, go to benefit the U.S. government, its interests, and corporate interests. So I'm just letting you know that. Now, I don't know if any of the documents here that are being destroyed have anything to do with that. Okay, but maybe it's possible. Either way, it's not a good idea to destroy these documents. It's definitely not the normal way of doing things. In fact, the former Usaid staffer described the destruction of the agency documents as unprecedented. Quote, "I've never seen something like this. En masse. Everyone with a safe is supposed to keep it up to date and destroy documents when they no longer need to be stored. Sometimes security will check your safe and tell you if you have to clean out old material," said the former staffer, who was granted anonymity due to the fear of possible reprisals by the Trump administration. So, look, here's the thing. The whole Usaid situation is illegal. Shutting it down. Usaid was created by Congress. Only Congress has the ability to destroy it. Now, is Congress doing anything? No, because it's run by Republicans, which is basically, these are people who have sworn fealty to Donald Trump. So they're not doing their job. They're actually giving up their power. And so this is your test, right? Usaid is the test of presidential power. And right now, we're failing it. And by we, I guess, the United States, okay? The Congress, they're failing it. If Donald Trump gets his way, then he's going to basically use this to assert power among other independent agencies or over other independent agencies without congressional approval, because he's already gotten tacit approval, which effectively makes Donald Trump a king, emperor, whatever you want to call it, dictator. And that's my big concern here, right? It's not just about like USAID and, oh, I'm worried about soft power and all that stuff. Oh, we got China and Russia filling soft power gaps. I'm not as worried about that as I am about the separation of powers in this country, okay? And whether or not we have a presidency or a dictatorship. Okay. That's all I got for you today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like and share the stream if you haven't already. Sign up to become a patron or become a channel member by hitting the join button below. All that wonderful stuff. Check out the videos. We're going to put those up later today after the stream, if you missed any of the show. With that said, thank you all. Try to have a great day. Love you all, and we will see you back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Logical Leftist.